What happens when a billionaire doesn't scream, doesn't fight, and doesn't even flinch? He just disappears. The viral Coldplay kiss cam scandal didn't just expose an affair, it detonated two of Boston's most powerful families, shaking billion-dollar empires overnight. But while the world expected Andrew Cabot to explode in rage after watching his wife kiss another man in front of 65,000 fans, he chose silence, and that silence turned out to be the most terrifying revenge of all. Rumors say he's been quietly dismantling her life piece by piece, leaving her broke, blacklisted, and erased from Boston's elite. And now, after months of speculation, Andrew Cabot has finally broken his silence, and what he revealed is darker than anyone imagined. It was supposed to be just another summer night in Foxborough. Coldplay's Yellow echoed through Gillette Stadium, 65,000 fans swaying under the lights. But in one split second, everything changed. The kiss cam panned across the crowd, lingering on familiar faces, and then froze on two people no one expected to see together: Kristen Cabot and tech billionaire Andy Byron. What happened next stunned everyone. Kristen leaned in, kissed him, passionately, unapologetically, while thousands cheered, oblivious to the personal carnage unfolding in real time. Within minutes, phones were out, clips were uploaded, and the moment went viral, igniting Reddit threads, TikTok memes, and Twitter firestorms that spread worldwide overnight. This wasn't just a scandal, it was nuclear fallout. Kristen was married to Andrew Cabot, one of Boston's most powerful old-money heirs. Byron was not only her boss at Astronomer, one of the hottest tech startups in the country, but also a married man himself. Two families, both wealthy, both influential, were obliterated in one shocking broadcast. Billion-dollar business deals collapsed overnight, charity galas were canceled, and investors scrambled as the personal lives of two elite dynasties imploded in public view. Meghan Kerrigan, Byron's wife, reacted almost instantly, posting an emotional statement on Instagram, calling the kiss the most humiliating moment of my life, and publicly announcing she was filing for divorce. But while Meghan spoke out, Andrew Cabot, the man the internet expected to explode in fury, did something nobody saw coming. He said nothing. No public statement, no social media posts, no denials, no angry press conferences, not even a cryptic "no comment." He simply vanished from sight, leaving reporters, fans, and even close friends stunned. And that silence became more terrifying than any outburst could have been, because in Andrew's world, silence isn't weakness, it's a warning. And those closest to the Cabot family whispered the same chilling phrase: when a Cabot goes quiet, someone's life is about to disappear. But the question everyone asked was the same: what was Andrew planning, and just how far would his quiet revenge go? To understand why Andrew Cabot's silence shook Boston's elite, you have to understand who Andrew Cabot really is. Unlike the flashy tech billionaires of Silicon Valley, Andrew isn't loud, he isn't online, and he doesn't crave attention. He was born into the Cabot family, a name so old in Boston society it's practically carved into the city's granite. The Cabots don't just have money, they have legacy. Their family built Privateer Rum, a quiet empire worth billions, and for generations they've operated behind the scenes, influencing politics, finance, and philanthropy without ever stepping into the spotlight. Andrew himself is known for being reserved, calculated, and obsessively private. At charity galas, he's the man who shakes every hand but never gives interviews. At board meetings, he rarely speaks, but when he does, the room falls silent. He's the kind of man whose power isn't measured by noise, but by the quiet weight of his presence. And in Boston's old money circles, silence is more dangerous than outrage, because it means the wheels are already turning behind the scenes. After the Coldplay kiss cam scandal, friends expected Andrew to confront Kristen publicly, demand an apology, or even stage a dramatic divorce announcement. But he did none of that. Instead, he disappeared. No public sightings, no official comments, not even a leaked statement from his inner circle. And that silence became its own form of punishment, sparking whispers among Boston's elite. A leaked quote from one of Andrew's longtime friends, passed around social circles and quickly picked up by gossip blogs, captured the mood perfectly. People think silence means he's hurting. They have no idea. When Andrew goes quiet, that's when he's most dangerous. He's not screaming, he's strategizing. That single rumor spread like wildfire, fueling speculation that Andrew's lack of response wasn't indifference, it was deliberate. While Kristen and Andy Byron's lives were imploding in public, Andrew was rumored to be orchestrating something far colder, the complete and permanent erasure of Kristen Cabot from Boston high society. But what did that look like in practice? The answer would soon become painfully clear, and Kristen would feel the consequences first. Kristen Cabot had built her entire life around control. As head of human resources at Astronomer, the rising tech giant helmed by Andy Byron, she carefully cultivated the perfect image. Poised, ambitious, effortlessly sophisticated. In Boston's elite circles, she was admired for her sharp career climb and envied for her seemingly flawless marriage to Andrew Cabot. But all of that came crashing down the second the kiss cam footage hit the internet. Within hours, Kristen's name was trending on Twitter. TikTok edits replayed the kiss in slow motion with captions like HR nightmare and Coldplay's most awkward moment ever. Reddit threads dissected every frame of the video, with armchair detectives digging up old conference photos and private Instagram posts speculating how long Kristen and Andy Byron had been secretly involved. Meme accounts mocked her relentlessly, pairing screenshots of the kiss with Coldplay lyrics like, "Look at the stars, look how they shine for you." But the public ridicule was just the beginning. Kristen's professional world began to collapse just as fast. Astronomer's board called an emergency meeting within 24 hours of the viral moment, and soon after, Kristen's LinkedIn profile quietly disappeared. Her company bio was scrubbed, her name removed from internal directories, and colleagues began unfollowing her on social media in a silent but unmistakable signal. She was radioactive. Even more humiliating, the scandal spilled into her personal life. Paparazzi began camping outside her brownstone in Beacon Hill, capturing shots of her leaving the house in oversized hoodies and sunglasses, visibly shaken. Friends who once clamored for invites to her rooftop parties now avoided her entirely. Event planners whispered about blacklisting her from upcoming galas, not out of moral outrage, but sheer self-preservation. No one wanted to be associated with the woman at the center of Boston's most explosive scandal in decades. And through all of this chaos, one figure remained eerily absent: Andrew Cabot. The man everyone expected to unleash fury never appeared, never spoke, and never defended himself or attacked Kristen. His silence hung over the entire saga like a storm cloud, darker and heavier than any public feud could have been. As one Boston socialite put it in a hushed conversation overheard at a Back Bay dinner party, "Kristen's life isn't just falling apart. Andrew's taking it apart, piece by piece, and she doesn't even see it coming." What happened next would prove them right. If Kristen Cabot thought the public humiliation of the kiss cam was the worst part of her scandal, she was wrong. The kiss may have gone viral, but what happened next was far more devastating, and it unfolded in silence. Within days of the incident, Kristen's career began to evaporate. Astronomer's board released a carefully worded statement citing internal restructuring, and by the following morning, Kristen's role as head of human resources was officially suspended. Her company email went dark, her security access revoked. Quietly, without public announcement, her name disappeared from Astronomer's leadership page, an erasure so swift it left even insiders stunned. But that was just the beginning. A week later, Kristen's personal life started unraveling in ways that felt almost orchestrated. Invitations to Boston's most exclusive events, galas, yacht parties, fundraisers, vanished overnight. Private clubs she frequented revoked her memberships without explanation. Luxury boutiques where she once had personal accounts suddenly lost her files, and longtime friends began ghosting her calls. It wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic, but it was absolute. Kristen was being erased from Boston's elite, and everyone suspected the same thing. Andrew Cabot was behind it. Leaked whispers began surfacing in hushed conversations, hinting at a quiet campaign of revenge. An anonymous socialite allegedly overheard Andrew's cousin saying at a Back Bay dinner, "Andrew won't make a scene, he never does. He'll just make sure she's untouchable, in the worst way possible." Even more chilling were the rumors coming from legal insiders. A supposed leak claimed Andrew had already filed divorce papers in secret, backed by an airtight prenup that would leave Kristen with nothing. No house, no alimony, not even access to shared assets. One alleged text exchange between two Boston attorneys went viral on Reddit. Attorney 1. Cabot's going nuclear, but you won't see it coming. Attorney 2. He doesn't need to drag her through court. He's burying her socially. She's done. As the weeks passed, Kristen's isolation deepened. Restaurants where she and Andrew had once dined turned her away. Philanthropic boards quietly removed her name from programs. Even mutual friends who had once adored her stopped answering texts, fearful of being collateral damage in Andrew's quiet war. What made Andrew's revenge so terrifying was its precision. There were no public outbursts, no tabloid interviews, no messy confrontations. Just silence and a systematic dismantling of Kristen's life. One Boston Magazine columnist summed it up best. This isn't revenge, this is erasure, and it's happening in real time. And if the whispers were true, Andrew wasn't finished yet. Rumors hinted at deeper moves, frozen accounts, private investigators, even quiet pressure on companies Kristen might try to work for. The question wasn't whether Kristen could survive this, it was whether she'd ever exist in Boston's elite circles again. By the time autumn arrived, Kristen Cabot wasn't just disgraced, she was gone. Not physically, of course, but in the rarefied air of Boston's old money elite, where reputation is currency and silence can be fatal, Kristen no longer existed. The transformation was gradual, almost surgical. At first, it was whispers, charity boards pausing her invitations, acquaintances quietly unfollowing her on Instagram, calls going straight to voicemail. But within weeks, Kristen's entire social identity had been scrubbed clean. Her name vanished from event programs, donor lists, and club rosters. The glossy photos of Kristen smiling beside Andrew at black-tie galas, quietly removed from archives, replaced with generic shots of nameless attendees. It was as if the city itself had decided she never belonged there in the first place. Professionally, the erasure was even more devastating. Kristen, once a rising star in human resources, found herself locked out of the very industry she had helped shape. Recruiters who had once begged her to jump ship stopped returning calls. A rumored blacklist circulated among Boston's corporate elite, whispered about at board dinners and cocktail parties, branding her persona non grata. Even startups outside Massachusetts were rumored to receive quiet warnings about bringing her on board, subtle reminders of the fallout that would follow anyone who tried to rehabilitate her image. Insiders described Andrew's approach as cold warfare. He didn't shout, sue, or leak stories to the press. He didn't need to. Instead, he weaponized absence, removing her from every room, every network, every opportunity, until she was nothing but a cautionary tale whispered about over martinis in Beacon Hill. A leaked quote, allegedly from one of Andrew's longtime associates, summed up the chilling strategy. Andrew's not punishing her in public. He's punishing her where it really hurts, behind closed doors. She won't get jobs. She won't get invites. She won't even get callbacks. It's like she's been erased. What made this silent revenge so horrifying was its permanence. Public scandals fade, outrage cycles die. But Andrew's network was generational, stretching across law firms, banks, and social clubs that valued loyalty above all else. In those circles, forgiveness wasn't an option. Kristen's name would forever carry the stain of betrayal, and Andrew ensured it stayed that way. By winter, Kristen's life looked unrecognizable. She sold her Beacon Hill townhouse, disappearing into a rented condo far from the city's historic core. Former friends crossed the street to avoid eye contact. Her once vibrant social media presence, hundreds of polished photos from charity events, ski trips, and galas, had been deleted. The woman who had once been a fixture of Boston high society was now a ghost.